For my beloved nephew August. Oh, I have an August. And there's an August in our church. August Heisman, but we usually call him Gus, don't we? Hi, Gus.
This is for Sophie Ella Rogers. May you continue to be inspired through wide-eyed curiosity, goodness, and joy with all the other love and blessings from your family. And that's from John Pata. Text copyright by Monica Brown. Illustrations copyright by John Pata. First published in the United States, Great Britain, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand in 2017 by North South Books, Inc., an imprint of Nord-Sud Verlag, Zurich, Switzerland. First paperback edition, 2019. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced or utilized in any form by any means, electronic or mechanical, including photocopying, recording, or any information storage or retrieval system without permission and writing from the publisher. Distributed in the United States by North South Books, Inc., New York, 116. Library of Congress cataloging and publication data is available. And it's printed in the United States in 2020. And let us read now. Frida Kahlo.
This is the story of a little girl named Frida who grew up to be one of the most famous painters of all time. Frida was special. This is also the story of 2 monkeys, a parrot, 3 dogs, 2 turkeys, an eagle, a black cat, and a fox. These were Frida's pets, and they were special too. Do you have any pets at home? Frida had a parrot named Bonito. Just like her parrot, Frida was colorful. She liked to wear bold shades that celebrated indigenous Mexico and her own heritage. I know that Pastor Heather, her mother-in-law, is Czech, and they celebrate their Czech heritage, and by doing these special Easter eggs, Miss Diane took the girls to a class to learn how to make these special Czech eggs. We'll have to ask Pastor Heather if she has any pictures of them making the eggs. That's an Easter tradition that celebrates their Czech heritage. She lived in a house the color of a parrot's bright blue feather, La Casa Azul. Can you say La Casa Azul? That means the blue house. She grew up there with her mom, her dad, and her sisters. Frida had a pet fawn. Named Granizo. Like her fawn, Frida had watchful, beautiful eyes. When Frida closed her eyes, she remembered life as a little girl. Frida was always with her father, a photographer who taught her to look at the world through curious eyes. Frida and her father would walk to the park to collect bugs, to look at them under a microscope. Frida's father also taught her how to paint, finishing touches on his photographs. Frida loved the small brushes and the beautiful colors. The kids and I love to go outside, and we love to catch bugs and to look at them. We don't have a microscope, but it would be really cool if we did. I also like to preserve bugs. Just a fun, weird fact about me. Frida had a cat with black, shiny fur, the same color as her long, dark hair. Do you guys have a cat? Any of you? Like a cat, Frida was playful. But as a child, Frida could not always play. When Frida was 6, she got very, very sick. She was in bed a very long time. But Frida did not get sad or bored. Instead, she used her breath to make mist on her window, and then she drew a door with her finger. Frida used her imagination and her curious eyes to walk out of the door with a magic friend, a little girl who danced and played like a kitten. Do you ever use your imagination when you're bored? Frida was independent, like a cat. Frida's sickness left one of her legs different from the other. And children made fun of her, but this did not stop Frida from skating and riding bikes and rowing on the lakes of Chapultepec Park so that her leg could get stronger. Frida was not afraid to do things other little girls did not usually do. She wore overalls, she boxed, and she wrestled. Frida had 2 spider monkeys, Fulong Chang and Camito del Guayabal. Like her monkeys, Frida could be mischievous, even when she was a teenager. When Frida was 15, she went to a school called the Preparatoria and found a group of friends she loved. Like Frida, they were curious to learn all they could. Together they read and they studied and they argued and sometimes got into trouble. You don't ever get into trouble, do you? Frida had an eagle named Gertrudis. Like her eagle, Frida's imagination could fly high. When Frida was 18, she was in a terrible accident. Once again, she had to be in bed for many months. This time, Frida did not create a magic friend. She created art. Frida's mother made her a special easel and hung a mirror over her canopy bed so that Frida could paint. Frida used her imagination and her curious eyes to do just that. And this is a quote from Frida. "Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly?" And if those pets were not enough, Frida had 2 turkeys and 3 dogs, Senor Xolotl, Senorita Capolina, and Senora Costi. Frida's turkeys were intelligent and sensitive, just like herself. And like Frida, her dogs were warm and loving. When she was lonely or sad, she would wrap her arms around her dogs and they would comfort her. Do you ever do that with your pets? Or maybe a stuffed animal, wrap your arms around them and they comfort you when you're lonely or sad or scared? Just like we can pray to God, right? Her Xolo dogs were the same breed that ran and hunted with the Aztecs thousands of years ago, and a reflection of Frida's heritage of which she was very proud. Frida's dogs had no hair, but their bodies were warm, and Frida gave them great big hugs whenever she felt lonely or sad. Frida's animalitos were spirited and entertaining, just like Frida. When her 2 spider monkeys were being good, Frida would hold them like babies. When they were being mischievous, they would steal socks and fruit and leap through windows so that no one could catch them. Silly monkeys, they're kind of like George, huh? Curious George. Her parrot named Bonito liked to snuggle under the covers while Frida took naps, and the parrot would do tricks at the dinner table for pats of butter. I want a parrot to snuggle with. How cool is that? Frida's animalitos played all day in the courtyard at La Casa Azul, the bright blue house on Londres Street. Her husband, Diego Rivera, even made the animals a pyramid to climb so that her pets could roam freely. And it looks like on that pyramid it's like an Aztec pyramid, just like Frida's heritage. And there's her Xolo dogs. When Frida painted, her pets would keep her company, and Frida painted all of the time, while the birds sang, the dogs barked, and the turkeys danced in the garden. Frida's animals were her children, her best friends, and her inspiration. I wonder if you could do a painting of one of your animals, or if you don't have animals, maybe one of your stuffed animals. Or one of Frida's animals. Frida painted when she was sick and hurting, and Frida painted when she was happy. She also painted when Diego was gone and she was sad. But Frida was never really alone at La Casa Azul, the bright blue house on Londres Street. She had her animalitos and herself, and she painted both. She was never really alone, right? She had herself and her animals. She painted herself with Bonito the parrot and Senor Xolotl the dog. She painted her black cat too, peeking over her shoulder. Frida painted herself with all the pets she loved so much, and even butterflies and caterpillars. Her paintings were magic. Wait, we have caterpillars, don't we, at the church? And they should be getting in their chrysalis if they haven't already, and becoming butterflies soon. That would be a cool drawing to do too, wouldn't it? And today, if you visit La Casa Azul in Culiacan, just outside of Mexico City, you might hear the sound of a bird or see a black cat jump from the pyramid that sits in the courtyard of the bright blue house on Londres Street, where Frida and her animalitos lived so many years ago. A picture of Frida Kahlo. I think it's her spider monkey. And let's say a quick prayer. 1, 2, 3. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us animals. Animals help us when we're lonely or sad or afraid, just like you do, God, just like your word does. Just like you comfort us through your word and through your love, we can find that same kind of comfort in the animals that you created. Dear God, thank you for all the love that you give us. And in your name we ask, amen. Bye everybody, hope you had a great Easter.